Hi everyone. Yesterday we managed to finish dashboard, as you can see here. Oops, this doesn't work. Yeah, as you can see here, we managed to finish dashboard, but the issue here is that every time that you click on the category, it's gonna take you to seems to be a problem. Oh, I see. Okay, as you can see here, we managed to finish the categories. So every time you click on the category, you go to the listings, and while you're in listings page, you still can filter listings by category. But the problem here is that this URL is not SEO friendly, so we are actually viewing listings for a specific category. So I think I'm going to change it to listings and having category sent as a query params into the controller. So that would be like that, or not sure if this is such a great idea, but how about cameras and listings? Yeah, so we prefix the URL with the category, then we show it. This could be a good idea. And let me check with the design. Yeah. So in the design, we don't have any box that is going to show like all listings belong to all categories. So so we don't need to show listings for all categories. We just need to show them every time that user clicks on a category, which right now it works, but as I already mentioned, there is an issue with the URL. So if you go to the to make it clear here, because there is no category, then we cannot show the listings. So either I need to remove the listings, or I think this is not a good idea. I think it's better to keep the listings but remove the categories, and try to prefix the listings with category names, or pass the category as a query param. Yeah. And also we need to focus on fixing the URLs linked to the navigation bar. Right now only list and item is clickable, but not the whole thing. So when you click on the text, but it actually should be on the logo. Well, let's just fix that quickly. If I go to navigation, then there should be a link, list an item. Yeah. So it's currently linked to the text, but we need to link it to the image. This is similar to the one that we did with the arrow SVG in the home page. When you click on it, you go to category. So we can do it here same way. Just wrap it in a block and show the image, but here don't keep this text as a span. Yeah, so now if I click on that, it works. Just simple things need to be done. We can do it for other links as well. For example, for the home, or we can call it dashboard. It's better call it home. I just copy the same block. This time change it to dashboard index path. Here, so if you go to a list and item, you can click and go back home. All right. And I'm also not sure if this is such a good idea to keep a search bar here. The stack I'm using is Ruby on Rails and Hotwire. Hotwire is a toolkit by Basecamp. So we have a Stimulus.js Turbo. Right now I'm using Turbo. And a Stimulus is a framework similar to React, which you can customize your UI by connecting your elements to specific controllers. For example, if you want to do something within this view, you can just write data and controller and name of the controller, I don't know, save controller, and within that div then you can add data targets. It's a pretty cool ecosystem for Rails, like for the people who use React. Actually, I'm going to do a PWA first because this is an MVP, so I don't want to focus on building the desktop applications, because majority of the people who gonna list their items, they're gonna be doing it on their phones. So I don't think there's a yeah. You don't see the code? Oh, okay. Let me. I see. Maybe it's because of the resolution. Yeah, I think. I think that should do it. Yeah. Yeah, please tell me if you can see the code now. The font size is a bit, I'm not sure if it's very clear. Yeah, I think it's clear enough. Yeah. But I'm going to upload a full like HD video on Vimeo and Twitch as well, so you can rewatch if you want to like copy something. Not sure. Yeah, anyways, yeah, so I think we can start fixing the URL first. I think this is the most important thing, because right now the category doesn't make sense. It's not SEO friendly because we are actually displaying the listings, not the categories. Yeah, this makes sense in terms of RESTful, but not SEO. So maybe I need to go to the roads, and actually there is a fancy way to do it in Rails, but it's not gonna be SEO friendly. So what we usually do, we have a nested controller, so you have categories too and then listings. This will work in Rails, but I just need to wrap resources. So here if I do Rails roads, categories, here you can see is category ID. So if I go to listings controller, and instead of looking for params, I can just do category ID. And we need to change the new listing URL. So it should be new category listing. Yeah, because it's nested now. Here it works, but the idea here is to make it more SEO friendly. So this is, I don't think it's such a good idea for Google, because you come to the category second, doesn't make any sense in terms of backlinks and analyzing your website. So to do that, maybe instead of category ID, how can we make it a dynamic URL? We can ask ChatGPT. I'm not sure if this time is a great time for everyone to actually watch the stream. I decided to go with this time because I didn't have a ring light and the lighting in the room is good. But now that I have, maybe we can move it forward. Yeah, we can slugify it. But first, I don't want to make it in a hacky way. I want to do it in a Rails way. So if the if you select a category, everything broken. Yeah, I think it's better to first make sure the routing works, and then we can slugify the name of the category. So it would be something like listing or gaming consoles listings, or actually we can actually do something better. We can pluralize the name of the category. So yeah, you're early bird. But it's great to have you here. So I think if we can actually pluralize the name of the category, so if you have a game console, so don't even show the listings. Not sure if it's a good idea. Is it a good idea to use category names and pluralize and slugify them into the URL for SEO? So instead of showing this gaming consoles listings, we can just show gaming consoles. And if so, how can I do that using Rails routing? ChatGPT makes everyone very lazy. Before I used to do it by myself. Yeah, we can use friendly ID. Friendly ID is good, but I really don't like to add a lot of gems into my project, because later when you want to upgrade Rails, it's gonna be a headache. Yeah. Yeah, we can just do it by ourselves. We don't need to add friendly gem, but categories param slug. So maybe it's not a bad idea to add a friendly ID. Yeah, let's add that. Because we are trying to build a business here. We are not trying to apply best practices. So I think I make it work first, and after everything is working, maybe I can replace it. Yeah. Category. If we do that, do we need to make any changes to the controller? Of course. So here, yeah, so in so gaming consoles should work. But we need to restart the race server. Couldn't find category without an ID. Category slugs. For listings, maybe I need to oh yeah, I need to use category slug. Okay, the point is there is no slug in category. Slugify the categories. Each good. So now we have the slugs. Boom, it's working. It's just because I'm very good at it. I've been doing it for like 12 years. Yeah, so I prefer to use something. I think there was an article with a famous engineer who used to build things with Lisp at the time that Java was very popular. But he was just using it because like Peter Levels, he's using PHP, but PHP is not mainstream anymore. Like he can build things very fast. We are not trying to be advocates here. Like you can use anything that you're very comfortable with. Some people feel, in my opinion, you need to do a lot of heavy lifting in Next.js for, I like their server components and their deployment ecosystem is better than Rails. And there are more like UI components. So if you have a Next.js background, I actually use Next.js a lot. I built few applications, large applications with Next.js. I like it a lot. But in terms of moving things fast and trying to do backend and frontend at the same time, I think I prefer Rails over Next.js. I'm actually looking forward for their new updates for APIs. Yeah, because I tried to build this website. Not sure. Subscribely. I've done it all in Next.js. Yeah, this website. Everything is done in Next.js. This is a very simple website. That's why I think Rails is overkill for this one, because I just have a lot of boxes and I'm just getting the data from database and showing it. I could have done it with Rails, but because I have a free plan on Vercel and they have better analytics and it's free, so I decided to do it. You just submit your thing, yeah. But Rails is a very old school technology, so many people are not using it anymore. They are preferring to use Node.js or yeah, it's actually Next.js like JavaScript. I recommend everyone to start like learning programming with JavaScript, because then you can easily move on to Node.js backend, frontend. It gives you a lot of options. But if you're coming from a different background, I come from like Linux and hacking things together, Python, Ruby, and 10 years ago Rails was like extremely popular. Yeah. So for building applications in Silicon Valley, Airbnb, even Booking.com, they're using Rails. Even Twitter. Yeah. So I think it's not mainstream anymore, but the technology is there and is very stable. Like many people are building their application using Rails. Basecamp. Yeah. And you can see how fast I could have done this if I was going to do it with Next.js. Maybe I'm not that experienced with Next.js, but I think it's gonna take me more time to do it. Like this take me maybe 5 minutes to fix the URL to become more SEO friendly, slugify them, add them to the database, run the migrations, and I can just deploy it right now. Like, yeah. I think it's just how I used to work. So many people find it not very productive. And some people say I use VS Code, but I use Vim, so it's just a preference. deploying it. This will automatically deploy to render. Yeah, I'm not sure if I discussed it yesterday, but I have a render YAML file. It's similar to Vercel and other cloud services. Some of them are using YAML, some of them are using different file types to config. But basically you just have a database and you have services similar to Docker Compose. You have a start and build command, and the build command is just running migrations. Yeah, for beginners I do not recommend you jump into Vim because you're trying to learn things and you want to move fast, and unfortunately that is going to prevent you to move very fast, because the muscle memory is not there, and you need to learn how to move around, exit the editor. You need to learn a lot of muscle memory, and this is gonna make you very slow. Yeah, so I think I suggest people to start using Vim for small things, taking notes maybe, and try to learn the mechanism around it, and then after you become comfortable, edit your server files if you have any, and then after you realize it's gonna help you to move fast, because this is extremely fast editor if you learn how to use it. But at the beginning there is a learning curve. But compared to VS Code, VS Code is much better for beginners. You have default settings, you have a lot of plugins, and you don't need to be a hacker to be able to write code. But Vim or Neovim is more you need to how can I put it? You need to have an extensive background coming from Linux. Yeah, how to move around things, how to use terminal all the time, like that. Otherwise it doesn't give you a lot of benefits if you cannot use it. It's better to stick to VS Code. Yeah, I even use VS Code sometimes, but mostly for merge conflicts. Yeah, because the UI is great and I don't want to spend 20 minutes looking at diff. That's it, so let's see what's left. So we make URL SEO friendly. So the second one is done. Get the search functionality working with Turbo 8. The way Turbo works is that it opens yeah, it's very terrible. I mean, I use lazy Git, and it has amazing but compared to VS Code, visually, even before, when I used to work in the office and I was constantly switching back and forth between Vim and Git Kraken, because at that time there was no Neovim and LazyGit, and the terminal tools for Git was pretty terrible. But LazyGit is better. But still, sometimes VS Code is much better because it gives you a better perspective in terms of what happened, what went wrong, visually. We are not there yet with Vim because it doesn't show what is yours except current changes. Yeah, I just find that wasting a lot of time on finding that, so instead I just use VS Code. There's a roller coaster for how a programmer become more mature in terms of using technology. First you start programming, you start loving some specific languages, then you become very fanatic and tell everyone that they need to be using it as well, and even you become unlogical about it sometimes. But as you grow, you learn that everything has its own use and you need to use it to move forward. yeah, to be productive. Like wasting time on things are not really worth it. Anyway, I think the next thing we need to do is to make the search functionality work. This is quite tricky, so I need to explain the way Turbo 8 works. Is it opens a WebSocket and it sends the changes coming from the backend to the UI. So it's not an AJAX call. Every time something happens, it's gonna come back as a diff of the DOM that you defined. You can define it in a template, and then you can send it back to the UI, and then you can update the UI. Yeah, Turbo streams. So here, if I want to do a search functionality, if I write something, cameras, I should be able to click on this and it's automatically updated without going anywhere. Yeah, similar to React. It's like a single page application, but using WebSockets instead of calling Ajax and updating the DOM diff and this kind of thing that React and Next.js they do it. Yeah, so in Rails we do it using Turbo 8. Turbo 8 is the latest version, but the latest version allows you to automatically update. So here I have broadcast refreshes. If I open another tab and try to list an item, I need to, this is broken because of the URL. Listings new. Yeah, the tricky part here is that it automatically recognizes. Yeah, because I'm using a Chrome extension to make it to display the phone case. So they are showing it's free. If I turn it off, I can use this, but I find that more easier to look. Yeah, so I prefer to use that. If you have ad block, you can block it, but I don't have it. Yeah, so we have an issue here because we are using a form generator. I'm using friendly ID and nested resources, and now I got an error that listing path doesn't exist. It doesn't. What updates do I need to make to be able to fix it? Oh, I see. So we need to show the category and this is good. Not sure if you have access to category here. I see. Yeah, because the category doesn't exist, so we need to, yeah, you know what, just turn it into a hook. Yeah, so now every time you open this URL, it's gonna set the category so you have access to it. So I was explaining that every time you try to do a new listing, this one will automatically update. So if I add like camera X, take great shots with your camera, categories, something. Usually I use form filler, but yeah, let's just do it manually. So you see, if I create a listing, it should automatically update. Yeah, because we updated listing, everything is broken. Category listing URL. What did you understand? Yeah, you can ask me. Sometimes I'm just talking to myself. You mean you didn't understand the point for the ads or the things I'm explaining? For Turbo 8, yeah, for Turbo 8, like when you have two applications, it's like a chat application because it's a WebSocket open. So when you add a new listing, it should automatically update it. But here it doesn't seem to work. Oh, I shouldn't open this at all. Yeah. Yeah, you can see here it added, but I think there is a problem with that because it didn't automatically update it. So let's try to category listing URL, add another item, this time add motorbike. So you got my point already, right? For the way that WebSocket works. No matches. The point is that it redirect to listing URL, but it shouldn't, right? So every time we create a new listing, we should redirect it back to the same category. Category listings, yeah. Redirect to category listings URL. Chanel. So how does do French people pronounce Chanel? Is it Chanel? I don't know how. The only thing I know is like croissant. I try to pronounce it like French. Actually, in my country, we have a lot of common words with French. Yeah. Because we've been colonized by French, I think 70 years ago, 80 years ago. Yeah, so the automatic update doesn't work. Need to see why. Broadcast refreshes. Stream from category. So maybe that's why. Because we can. Yeah, so this is gonna reduce the amount. Like, why do you need to refresh the page when someone just added an item? You can just receive it. Yeah. Yeah, I think we can pronounce French words very properly because we have a qa, like inside throat, so most people cannot do it. It's like je and gue is very easy for us to do. And also we have a lot of French words, like we call TV television, similar to French, and many other words I cannot remember now. Television and chauffeur, like many things. Yeah, probably we have, because I'm connecting to, probably Twitch is connecting to Singapore or Asian servers. Yeah, I'm trying my best to find a way to make the streaming like very smooth, and moving from Twitter to Twitch seemed to solve that the quality issue. But about the latency, maybe it's because of my Wi-Fi. Yeah, maybe I need to find a way to have a wired connection to remove this latency, or play with the bitrate in OBS. I don't think like Twitch is gonna store the video. I should upload it manually, right? I have no idea. Because when I stream, it doesn't save the videos afterwards. So probably we need to do something about that. Finally we have fake filler, so we don't need to spend a lot of time. Yeah, it still doesn't update it. it's not an important issue, but it's better to fix it early. The more important issue is search product. So let's just go back to that for now. The issue of not updating it is probably because I'm streaming from category and streaming from listing somewhere. Yeah, category listing. If I play music in my computer, is it gonna hello? 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 Do you hear a noise when I speak, or there was a noise, or still it is? I see, okay. Because I opened the chat in my iPad. Not sure what caused the problem. Yeah, to make the search work, we need to submit and we need to use data removed, so we submit the form but in an Ajax way. The thing about this is that I think we are not in the same view. So we need to define a new URL for search. And when we go to category controller, you need to define a turbo stream. You have the parser. Yeah, so what I did, I decided to create a turbo string for search. So every time you try to search something, we send it to a search action in the categories controller, then it comes back with a turbo stream partial. This is similar to Ajax, so when you send something and you partial update the page, yeah, but Turbo is gonna take care of this for us. So if I seems to be an issue. Category without an ID. Oh, I see. This is index listing. Category is index. Links seem to be gone. Not sure what I did, but I see. Because it's using the index, so they are both pointing at the same URL. Imagine if I remove this completely. Nothing show. So the category index really doesn't matter. It can be removed. So that's why we need to update only the listings category. If I say something, yeah, hold up, I need to open the sorry about that. Yeah, so there seems to be an issue with finding the category, but isn't it supposed to, or maybe because I tried to do it in a nested way. This is my current URL, but I get cannot find category .id. Oh, I see. We should have done it on the member because it doesn't have the search category. Not sure if you're still there. The search could be tricky. Oh, I see. I was thinking if I can stream at the same time to Twitter, but probably it's gonna be very laggy. This is a stupid idea. Category slug is missing. Why is that? Maybe we should have defined the search. Yeah, it's better to define it on the listing instead of categories. So I just move it to the listing, then we have the category. So we don't need to find it anymore. But for the new one, instead of that, we need to search listings path. So roads view in college. Search category listings. Yeah. Listings index search category listings thing about Rails is that you need to restart every time. Weird things seem to happen. Good. No templates, so we're gonna move this, move it to if I search back, search is missing a template, of course, because it's responding in HTML, but we just need turbo. So motorbike, unknown format. What the fuck is that? Actually, listings have title. So maybe we need to sure if it's gonna help. Good. Perfect. It's working, but we don't need to have the commit. So I need to remove that. For the I think it should be similar to the index, but this time with turbo tag. Or how about wrapping point here is this category listing. This is good now. is a PS5. So we shouldn't get this. The search is working. Actually, this one shouldn't. Yeah, makes sense. Great. So if we go back to home, let's go back to home and search for PS5. I use I like, which is better, so it works. But we don't need to show commit in the URL. No road matches. Category listings. Oh, this is not related to the... We need to fix the URL for category, because here we need to have the we already have access to the list of categories, we just need to send them here. Which is a problem. Or maybe, yeah. Yeah, the mistake I made is to set the issue here is that because we bind the categories and listings together, so every time we need to create a listing, we need to have the category. That is the con. Yeah. Yeah, because we need to have the categories in the URLs, right? So every time you create a new listing, you need to have the category. But that is not the case when you want to create one. Only when you want to show. So this is a routing issue. So what we can do instead is to have the resources listing outside, but only new and create and update. So instead we can say new this should solve the problem. Yeah. So now we have two routes. One of them is listings without category slug, and which is only for creating, updating, and displaying this new page. So this one we need to make it only for show and index. It's better not to touch it. So let's see if we can create another one. Yeah, here, because we have set category. That is the issue. So the only thing we need to do is to go back and yeah, so when we do this, we need to do category slug listing. now works. Yeah. So there was two issues. The first one was every time you want to create a listing, you need to have the category, but that shouldn't be the case. So we created another route only for creating listings, which is called listing like RESTful. And so you can see here when you click here, it just shows listings new. Now it makes sense. And every time you click here, also we need to go and fix the listing index. Yeah, instead of category name, we need to link it. So link to category listings path. Now you can see what's left. We need to update this to match the UI. Search. We need to fix the search to return only this part, but right now it's replacing the whole. If I go to categories index, here we had the UI, so we just need to copy it. And for the submit, I think we can wrap it like that. So instead of search, this is okay, but so I think we need to, instead of having it in a div, add the class perfect. Wait, we need to actually remove line 2 still shows so instead we need to go to gaming consoles. The only thing left is to wrap this when it comes back. That's good. Need to remove outline. That's perfect. Okay, search is working. But it doesn't scroll. Overflow. Used to overflow. This doesn't seem to affect anything. Yeah. Okay, good. Pushing everything to staging. Search. I think next thing is to try to add drag and drop to this. So when you click on it, it's not that important because, and make the UI and also update the navigation bar too. Yeah, this one is a bit tricky because I need to replace the navigation bar. We have new listings and we need to have like bookings too. So when you want to rent an item, you need to have a booking availabilities, slots, and profile. Do you have any questions? I think I need to go to eat something. We also need to clean up too. No, actually I have a friend that helps me with the design. I think it's better to move my things to the right. Yeah, her name is Zara. She helps me with the design and she did a pretty good job with this one, to be honest. Yeah, I like it a lot. Except from designer point of view, and from developer point of view things are very different. For example, this one we need to create another search, so every time that you search something, it goes to that, it finds the listing, finds the category, and is gonna show you in the same page. And that could be a bit tricky, because you can see here that we already did that. Seems we fucked something up. Let's try it on staging. Too many redirects. Redirecting too many times. How is that possible? There seemed to be an issue. If I clean the... Yeah. The page isn't working. Too many redirects. Because we have this. redirects too many times. Something is broken. Because we define the routes in the main. Yeah, the order was wrong. So if we try to move it, it should work. Yeah, the issue is because we define the listings and category on the root, so every time the user comes in, it automatically goes to check for the authentication, but you don't have any, so it's gonna constantly redirect you back to login, which doesn't make sense. Yeah, looks pretty good. So after we log in, oh, I see, because we don't have a category yet, so when we have session controller, if you go to listings path, but actually you should go to category listings path. Yeah, I built many SaaS businesses before. One of them was SA Bar, which I sold to a person. So basically it was at that time when there was chat GPT came out, then I jumped on that hype train and tried to develop something that helps the students generate essays. And during like my 10-year, 12-year career, I've been always working with agencies creating SaaS software, e-commerce, small applications. Yeah, if that's your question. Shouldn't show dashboard index actually. No, Dev Mason is my company. Yeah, I am the founder. But I also develop in Dev Mason. this. What are you doing? Are you building something? Oh, we also need to add image to categories so we can display it here. I think we also need the admin dashboard for this. The way I handle it is that I do not take many clients. I usually have a ceiling for like up to 3. So some of my clients are development heavy, and the other clients are like consultant based. Like I manage their teams, set up their processes, architecture, meetings. So this is how you need to balance it out. Obviously you cannot scale like compared to design. Yeah, so you cannot take a lot of clients, otherwise you're going to have problem delivering. That's why one of the biggest goal in 2024 is to expand DevMason and hire more people so I can delegate. Right now it's only me and a designer, and I'm planning to hire some virtual assistant and 2 more devs when I get more clients. But ideally I'm switching to have my own SaaS businesses, because I don't want to be developing software for a long time for different companies. It is fun, but it is not a scalable business. Yeah, so I plan to build useful tools online and make money in that way. But running agency and having your own company is good. Yeah. So luxury agency, what do you mean by that? I never heard of anything called luxury agency. You mean design or for development? Bonjour Paris. I see. So you take the product, you build like from idea to product, right? You do the marketing and everything. Looks good. Yeah, running that kind of agency, you need to have a team, because you cannot scale otherwise. Like one man businesses, usually there is a ceiling for it. Maybe maximum 3-4 clients, and that's it. You cannot take more clients than that. And there is actually like a lot of controversies over a lot of people who claim they have a lot of clients. Yeah, so I don't think that that is real, because you cannot handle that many clients even in design. So either they hire someone, because you have only limited time, like per week you have 40. Even if you want to like max out, you can work like 70 hours, but you're gonna burn out. You have family, you have other things to do. So I don't think it's like really realistic to believe that people can take 40-50 clients unless you have a big team. So I think short term is a good solution, and there is a trend for it, as freelancing is fading away and people are switching to this is actually, it used to be always around, like retainers. Agencies used to charge clients on a retainer basis, but now people are doing it instead of hourly. So instead of having an agency, they have 1 or 2 people that charge clients monthly. Yeah, but honestly it's a pain in the ass to run it, to manage things. So that's why one of my goals is to have a SaaS in long term. But this is just to keep the lights on and pay for your bills, pay for your family. And this is what I'm good at the moment. I've been building applications for like 12 years, so why shouldn't I just do it for myself? In the long term, if you keep doing the same thing, it's gonna work. But you need to have like marketing background, you need to have someone to help you with design, or you need to be very good. For example, there is this guy, his name is Anthony. He's pretty good with design, so he does it by himself. Yeah, I know him personally. Anthony Riera. He's building Brew, which is a SaaS that helps agencies manage. If I ever scale, I definitely subscribe to him. I actually built something similar to him in a long time ago. Yeah, this is not on again. It was called ClientMate. So you onboard your clients instead of having Notion, Trello, Figma, different things. You onboard your clients in the system. You have your own page. It's like a personalized Upwork. So you have your own page, and then people can leave reviews. But the guy who was helping me with doing that, he abandoned the project. So I don't really have time to work on that. But it's a great idea. Product market fit is everything. You need to keep building until you hit product market fit, and for that you need a lot of experience in building software, and you need to learn how to market it, because you need to reduce the cost of going to production very fast. Yeah, and marketing it at the same time, and having managing your own life. It's a tricky thing, but I think based on what I'm seeing now, many people manage to do it, so it's doable. But it depends how do you manage your time. Yeah. One of the biggest thing I often struggle with is that right now is becoming better as I'm right now the biggest issue that I'm having is to you need to keep adding the same output and effort in a consistent way all the time, so eventually it's going to work. But if you you become disappointed, or you procrastinate for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then you come back to it, you don't have the same excitement. Yeah, so I think that is the biggest problem with many people who are failing. They just give up because life have many problems. They they cannot come back to it, or they come back to it very late. Same thing happened to me with ClientMate. My friend who was helping me, he has other commitments, so he decided to give up. Yeah, but I decided to build this because it's my the product market fit for this one. We have a big plan for it in Asia, and I have some friends who suggested me to build this. That is the whole idea behind Renty. And at the same time, I'm doing it for personal branding as well. I'm building it online, live stream, because the building public idea is, I think, is very good, but not many people are doing it online, like live. Instead, they go back and come back in 2 weeks, and they said, this is what I've done. Yeah, and many people pay others to do it for themselves because they're like designer or they are sales background, so they don't know how to develop things. So I instead decided to do it live and show people like the problems. And this is a commitment for myself too, because if I stream, I need to work. I cannot procrastinate. Yeah. Yeah, but I think we can wrap this up for today and probably come back to it next week. Thanks a lot for Monarch to stay with me. I think you're the first user here, or not sure how many people are watching this stream. Thanks a lot and have a great weekend.